Hello, everyone, and welcome to Rob Has a Podcast. I'm your host, Taran Armstrong, and we are here tonight to talk through the Veto episode of Big Brother Canada 11, a scandalous episode of Big Brother Canada 11, as the announcer said.
Who will be left standing after a scandal rocks the house?
Scandal. Well, to talk about this scandal tonight, AJ is with me. How you doing, AJ?
I'm doing really great, Taran. I know you are the king of this podcast. Maggie's the queen. I am your knight, and I am here to serve whatever y'all need.
All right. Well, AJ,
Yes.
I'm really glad you said that because I'm going to need you to step out of the podcast. Yeah. Sorry about that. If you could just
whatever you need. Oh, okay.
Thanks.
Okay.
Bye.
Also with us tonight is Maggie. How you doing, Maggie?
Hi, Taran. Hi, AJ. You know, I'm doing great. I got some Brita filtered water here.
What's a competitor to Brita?
Pure? Don't they have a water filter?
There you go.
Okay, you want to know what?
Hit me.
This is not Brita water. This is the New York City tap, baby. And it's good. Quite good. But yeah, I'm good. I'm confused. This episode told us absolutely nothing. In fact, left me more confused than I've been this whole season. I haven't been on to talk about the season yet because the daily drops happen when I'm working. So this is my first foray into podcasting about what a mess this is. So this should be fun, guys.
Yeah. Basically, it's this week on what happened that was so scandalous that they needed to extra hide things from us. We think it was one thing, but it turns out it was actually the first thing we thought it was. Because when they stopped doing the daily drops, we were like, Ty and Zach are acting up. And then we were like, oh, wait a minute. Vanessa went on the block? That's not what we saw. She must be gone. That's the scandal that's preventing the daily drops from happening. And then they were like, nope, we gotcha. It was the first one. Ty and Zach are acting up, and also Vanessa left.
They really want to be better candidate, don't they? I don't know why.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got this.
This is my big question. Because if what Ty was alluding to on the episode is like there's something that Hope is doing that is illegal, and Zach says the letter. This sounds to me like if there are live feeds and hundreds of cameras in the house and production is supposed to go through bags, this seems to me like something that production would have caught long ago. And yet we have a contestant apparently bringing forth a perceived cheating scandal by another contestant in a show that is literally meant to monitor people 24/7. Like, how on earth did we get here?
Let's be real. They lean on the community to find out what's happening on their show. Like, it takes the community to tell them, don't cast this person, they're bad news. It takes the community probably also to tell them, hey, this is happening on your show that you're not bothering to watch.
I'm like, what world are we living in that this is a show literally based on the concept of 24/7 surveillance? This is a show where Big Brother is always watching. They are always watching everything that's going on. People are not allowed to cheat in Big Brother because of this. Like, this makes no sense to me. If we really made it 3 weeks into the game and another contestant had to bring forth somebody having illegal contraband, and when I say illegal contraband, I just mean against the rules. I don't mean like anything actually illegal. Another contestant knew about this, was shown this, had a full conversation about this, presumably with Hope and with Zach, and it takes them seemingly bringing it up in a house meeting. Like, what are we doing anymore? Like, what are we even doing?
Yeah. It's weird.
I can't
It's
tell you,
weird.
Maggie. Oh.
There was a tweet from Rob, the Rob that was
Okay.
evicted last week,
Mhm.
and he said, "What Ty is talking about is not enough to get him disqualified." Lol. He
Like,
deleted the tweet within like 2 minutes.
fair enough. But like, here's the thing, right? I have somewhat faith in the people who run the show. Where if there was really something that was worthy of you being kicked out of, production at least would know. Like, let me tell you something. Ty and Zach are not the first people that will bring this up to production. And if they are, like, oh my God, our favorite show is going down real fast. Faster than I thought.
That's
Genuinely?
what I'm saying. Like, go ahead, Taran. Sorry.
No, I had the thought,
Mhm.
all this time we've been thinking they got rid of the live feeds because they were worried about scandal and
Mhm.
controversy. They didn't want people to see the truth about what was happening because it was too controversial and the fan base is just too toxic. But
Mhm.
what if we had it backwards this whole time? What if their show is too tame for them because we see the reality of it and we know that it's not actually that scandalous? What if they got rid of the live feeds so that they could create fake scandal? So that they could be like, oh, what's this letter? Oh, no. And if we knew the live feeds, we'd know that it was nothing. But because they
This
don't,
is the
we don't.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the thing. We have no idea. The live feeds have been down for days. Not even the live feeds. The daily drops have been down for days. So I'm left sitting here being like, does production really not know about some illegal letter? And it had to be brought to them, and the contestants were like, I'm literally living in the reality where I'm like, this could be a possibility because of how absolutely in the dark we are. I mean, the fact that I listened to Taran and Matt Liguori go through the events of the weekend, and I was like, you know what? This actually seems like it was a pretty good live feeds thing. And then yesterday we find out Vanessa was on the block. Like, the fact that happened makes me be like, well, I guess it is possible that Ty, Zach, Hope, apparently already evicted house guest Rob all knew about something that production had no idea was going on.
Yeah. Entirely possible. This is just is wild. And this is not even the stuff that, like, Vanessa's gone. The second house guest this season in 3 weeks to just within a matter of minutes disappear from the show. Like,
I will
Like-
like, and the thing is, of course, you don't want to speculate on her health or her family tweeted that she is doing well. Like, you never want to speculate on that. But like, we didn't. It was within the first 2 minutes of the episode. Like she had never even been there. Like, she had never been on this show the whole time the rest of the episode went on. So you are, of course, like, what do you mean? And then this comes in and is supposedly this big scandal and like something that we don't know. It's just really feeling like the Twilight Zone here for me.
Like, Maggie, I got some news for you. You gotta let go.
Yeah.
You just gotta let go. You just gotta enjoy the ride. They're taking you somewhere.
I really thought I had.
You gotta go.
That's what I'm saying.
I thought I had before I got on this podcast, and I was like, what are we even doing?
So yeah, I can say that Vanessa's Twitter account tweeted out, Vanessa didn't quit and wanted you all to know that she wouldn't and didn't. Also, of course, she wanted to stir the. Okay, we get it. She's wanted to stir the pot. Unfortunately, due to a medical emergency, she had to be removed from the game. Please rest assured, however, that it is resolved and that she is doing just fine. And no, she didn't beat anyone and get expelled. LOL.
LOL indeed.
People were speculating that she beat somebody, I guess.
I wasn't speculating that, but I'm glad that Vanessa's all well. I'm
Me
sorry
too.
that the show treated her just like the Daily treated her. But we have to move on. Respect to Vanessa. She did some fun stuff while she was around. She left the mark this season. Let's get it going.
Yeah,
This is
I
the
mean,
thing.
it's like obviously, you know, I don't want live feeds so that I can pry into Vanessa's medical situation, right? Like,
Mhm.
I don't think anybody, or at least most sort of reasonable people, would desire that. Vanessa deserves whatever privacy that she wants in a situation where this is a medical situation. But I do want to have transparency when it comes to production and the decisions that they're making about these situations. Like, what's going on here? What kind of situation have these people been introduced to? What is going on with this, scandal? Why is it that we can't see what's going on in the house? Like, why is it that we can't see what's going on with this scandal? Because they say at the end of this episode,
Find out the shocking truth.
find out the shocking truth
Yes.
in the next episode. But I don't believe for a second that we will know the truth about this situation in the next episode. They will give us a story, but will it be the truth? I honestly doubt it, because if it was the truth, why wouldn't we have seen it on the drops? Why would they be so worried that even in an edited version of a couple of hours from an entire day, they couldn't even show us that because it was too risky that we would figure out what's actually happening. I
Karen.
very much doubt that we are getting the
Karen, you're
shocking
forgetting
truth.
one small fact. You're forgetting
Maggie.
one small fact.
Tell him.
The fan base is toxic. Okay.
Yeah, we're too toxic for this truth.
Yeah.
We
but
can't
this is-
handle
Okay.
the truth.
How
this
dare
is
we
the
want
thing.
transparency? How
This
dare we
is
want to
the
know what's
thing.
actually happening on the show where you're supposed to know what's happening at all points in time? Like, how dare we
God.
ask for them to do the bare minimum of what a big brother is?
It's like the thing for me, AJ, when you're like, you just gotta let go. I'm like, okay, but then what do we even talk about? Because like, what else was there to talk about on this episode?
Britta.
Yeah, like we could talk about Ty and Zach acting like they run the world. I mean,
Yeah, we will get to that for sure, because it's like I think there's this assumption that like the live feeds are there to prevent like people from getting in trouble from being misogynistic and racist, which is certainly a possibility. But some people argue like that's a good thing. Yeah, because it's not right. It's not right what happens to the racists. But they're clearly not shy about. This is again the thing. This is what they're showing us from Ty and Zach. This is what they're like. We have to give them something. We'll give them this. What conceivably is going on in the house that we're not seeing? Because it's got to be at least 5 times worse, right?
Like, here's the thing.
And-
Even in the 40 minutes that I've seen this episode, I still saw misogynism and microaggressions in this episode. Like, I don't know who y'all trying to protect or why you're trying to hide it. Because, like, that's the point. It's a social experiment. We're supposed to see the human interact and be like, okay, we can learn from this because this is a microcosm of the society. But also, like, despite the fact that I don't trust the editors of the show, I was entertained. Like, through it all. At the end of the day, I did like enjoy this episode a little bit. So like I hate that what they're doing is working because it shouldn't. But like this was, I think it's because I was like did not know a lot of what was happening. I was like, oh, okay, I'm glad to get some more insight. Like, but that's just me personally.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think that like at the end of the day, one of the draws of this show
Mhm.
is like the weirdness of it, right? And this is a weird season. And there's like Koozie's HOH. In my opinion, if we had live feeds this week, Koozie's HOH would
Oh,
be seen as an all timer.
living
Yeah.
All hail
for
the
it.
queen.
Like she's amazing.
Mhm.
She's thrilling. She's
Mhm.
getting these guys. Okay, and this is also the thing that I was gonna say is when we have feeds and
Mhm.
we can see how like jerky these people are acting in the house,
Mhm.
we are able to, when they are on the show, be like, oh wow, actually, like they gave them a nice edit, even though it sort of showed. Or you can be like, oh, well, they're burying them. Like they are burying them. They're showing like the worst of the worst. But because we don't have feeds, we are now left in this place, like Taran said, where it's like, okay, well, what are we not seeing? Like if they're so dedicated to protecting them by not having feeds, like what are we
Mhm.
not seeing? When this could be, a situation where they're burying them a bit in the edit. But like we don't know because we don't have the feeds to tell us. And I agree with you, Taran. Like the reason that last season, like during that leftover formation week, that was the best week of Big Brother feats that I have ever
Mhm.
experienced live covering. It was thrilling. We were watching these people get overthrown. We were watching the little guy raise up. Like it was so thrilling. And I do think that that's a bit of what's going on here in the BBCAN11 house. And we're not privy to any of it. We're just getting, 20 minutes in an episode tonight and not even showing the actual
Mhm.
formation of the girly pops. Like we're not showing that. We got how many minutes of all 5 of those women in that room together? 2 minutes, and most of it was them being like, we can't be in here together. Like it's
Yeah.
very, it's really like, ugh, this is so exciting. This stuff is exciting. Like you said, Taran, this would be an all-timer. When you were recounting the daily drop with Matt, I was like, this is so exciting. And then we just are really getting robbed. And I love Big Brother. I love Big Brother. I do.
Mhm.
I miss it so much when it's not on. I think I'm one of the only psychos who would want to watch it year round. I do want Taran to have some time to sleep and rest. But like, I really, when I heard that they weren't having feeds this season, I was so sad. I wasn't even mad. I know like Melissa's really
Mhm.
been holding the torch for people who are really disappointed and a bit angry. I was just really sad because weeks like this are like, I
Mhm.
would have been riding a high all week in my regular life. I would have been so happy. Like it's just really sad that they're not giving us the opportunity to play along, you know?
Mhm. Like
Yeah.
and like the worst part about it is like the Big Brother editors high key suck. Like the week you were talking about with the leftovers, like that was a feeds thing. In the show, it was like behind. Like the show, we were not privy to what was really happening if you just watched the show. And like I think Big Brother Canada is notorious looking at Big Brother Canada 6 of like not portraying an accurately what's happening and all the important game stuff that like we need to be privy to is just being thrown to the wayside until the end of the season. It's like, oh, we gotta catch them up because Paris did good stuff. So like so I really it's really hurting both their product because I know Taryn has talked about it a lot. Like once the anger goes away or Maggie the sadness go away, it's just like discontent. Like they people just don't care. And like whenever like there's nothing in my podcast feed, like I truly be like, you know what? I don't care about Big Brother Canada 11. And that's the worst thing about everything
I
that
care
they've
about
done.
you, Taran. Hey,
What's
Taran. I care about you. I care about your content. I do. I listen to these sad daily drops because I support you. Okay, I care about you. I do not
Maggie.
care about the Big Brother 11 content, but I do care about you and what you have to say.
No, but like, here's the bad thing. I want to care about the Big Brother 11 content. You got Koozie in there. You got Daniel in there. Like, you got exciting people playing this game that are, from what I've seen, the short thing, they're not holding back. Like, it's like this has the potential to be like one of the better seasons, and it's just not going to be now. And I did not realize like how much live feeds, like I knew live feeds like played a big role in like how highly I view a season, but like I just did not realize how much a season can drop without them.
Yeah, it happens. Well,
But you know, we got a show to talk about.
as mentioned, yeah, we have 20 minutes of content and 20 minutes of competition to talk about.
Yeah.
After Vanessa leaves, which there's really not much left to comment on that, apart from the fact that Vanessa leaving is certainly bad news for Koozie, I think, and her allies in particular, because Vanessa was a target for a decent amount of people in the house that would have focused on her before they looked at Koozie and Daniel and Anika. But you know, they're trudging on. Koozie has 1 hour to name a replacement nominee for Vanessa. I was like, really? Like, having to name a replacement after one of your nominees, you know, leaves the game is like rough enough. You're gonna give her an hour? Jeez. Luckily, she has an easy out here because she says her priority is to break up Zach, Ty, and Santina. Santina is her target at this point. She needs Hope to go on the block, and he is totally fine with it. And she is even going to tell Santina that Hope is the target, but he's not really the target.
Like, I feel bad for Koozie because, like, yes, Hope was there, which is great. Like, as an HOH, like one of your big plans just went up in flames, and I think they've had precedent in Big Brother Canada where someone left. They were just like, okay, we're scrapping this HOH. Let's move on to the next one. But the fact that Koozie could have, if Koozie was the worst player, like like she could have like have a halfway decent plan and blowing it all up just by making like a mistake. Be like, you know what, Zach was my backup plan anyway, so let's just go ahead and throw him up there. And like, so it bumps me out that she only had an hour, but like, thank God for Hope. But also, Santina, I really enjoyed Santina this episode. I'm gonna be $1.50 with y'all. I really enjoyed her. And as much as I love Koozie, Santina was not having it. Santina saw straight through her, and I look. He was like, you know what, Santina, I know you're trying to save yourself, but like, just be a buck with her. Be like, just buck to Koozie. Like, what's the worst that can happen? You're already a target.
Yeah, I just like first of all, Hope should have been the nominee to begin with, in my opinion. Koozie should never have put Vanessa on the block. It should have been Hope in the first place, especially considering the fact that he was fine with it. So you know, good on Koozie for finding the correct choice, I guess, with a second opportunity. But then we have as you mentioned, Santina. She says this.
I'm not big move. I'm not socially anything. Like, are you kidding me right now?
She's not a big move. She's not socially anything. Are you kidding me? Why would you target her? Why it's not even it's not a big move to target somebody who is on the outs in the house, who's not socially anything, who maybe you had a relationship with, maybe you even promised them safety. I don't know. It's just a ridiculous thing to do. I don't know what.
Santina once again proving she has no awareness of the dynamics of the house and what's actually going on within the game. But I agree with you, AJ. I liked Santina in this episode. And, you know, honestly, Hope in this episode, like hearing him in the DR, explain himself a little bit more. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. Okay.
Get ahead of yourself.
But I think if we had live feeds and I got on a live feed update with Taran, I would say, based off of the little bit that we've seen of Hope here, and if we could, you know, watch all of it, I would say Now, if I walked into that house and somebody like Hope was there, I would say, you are coming with me. And I would push him right in front of me. And I would make sure that he's exactly positioned to where I need him to be. And he would be my little bestie in the house. And I would play the perfect big sister role to his little brother. And he would be, oh my God, he's the perfect meat shield asset to have in the house. Are you kidding me? He has no idea what he's doing. He's like a sweetie little guy. He just wants to do what he thinks is right. Like Kevin Jacobs would have a field day with somebody like Hope. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish that we could see this on the feeds because maybe is Renee doing that with him?
I was going to say, you're basically Renee, I think is what you're saying.
Yeah, like, but we saw from like a 30-second clip, like, give us more here because I feel like there's so much to that dynamic. You rarely, I feel like, get this kind of sweet, hunky, like genuinely will listen to whoever is like giving him the most attention type of guy. And like, I would seriously walk in there and be like, stars in my eyes. You and me, we're going to final 3, and then I cut you because you would win over me because everybody likes you and you're so likable. Like, he would just be, to me, he's the perfect person to align with.
You're saying you'd be telling him, don't make a dumb move.
I would be saying that.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Here's why I'm happy about what I've heard from Hope. Because I did not want to be here week 4 hearing about Hope wanting to quit again and being like, oh my gosh, can we just send him out packing? Like, I don't need another person on the show just wanting to quit left and right. So I'm glad he actually is like, no, I'm using this as strategy. I'm using this as a game. Do I question it? 100%. Like, there's a lot of flaws in your plans, Hope. I got to be a buck with you. Like, this was not the way to do it. Look at, we'll pause. Ty and Zach are like imploding, but you're better than Ty and Zach. Like, I feel like you could have had a better route and a better winning path. Because I'm not saying the damage has already been done, but there's been a lot of damage already done. That's going to like take a lot to come back from. But that's just me personally.
Yeah, I do want to just let's take a look at this because in this episode, Hope says, I've been telling a lot of people that I'm ready to go home. And we see like 10 different clips of him saying it. And he's like, but it's all a lie. I'm doing it for strategy. And I don't believe a word of it. This man is lying to me. What I think happened is that after having wanted to quit for a while, he has gone back and forth many times, but he won that veto and gave that confessional after winning the veto and deciding he wanted to stay and said, now that I've won something and I want to stay. Yeah, all that was just strategy. That was actually not even true. I tricked you.
Taran, it is giving a little bit when somebody gets super rattled and like starts yelling at somebody and then goes in the DR and is like, oh yeah, I actually wasn't bothered at all by what they said. It was actually just me trying to put them in a corner and get them back on their heels. And you're like, oh no, you were mad and you yelled. Like that. It's very much the revisionist history of like, whoa, I did something a little embarrassing. Better cover my tracks here.
But here's my thing though, right? I feel like there's honor in being like, I don't know the show and I should not have signed up for it. Like, I feel like this is just an embarrassing thing to say on national television. Like, I would like, here's the thing, right? If this was actually my strategy going into a Big Brother house, I would just be like, yeah, I don't want to be here, like to everyone in the audience. But like, I'm not going to like admit that. Like, that's.
I mean, the thing is that even if this was genuinely his strategy, it makes no sense.
That's the point. It makes no sense.
Strategy. Bad strategy.
Because in the game, even from the drops, we have seen him say, I want to leave, vote me out, please. And then, wait a minute, I've actually changed my mind and I don't want to go. wait, no, I've changed my mind again. And not at like opportune times where like he needs the vote and then doesn't need the vote or whatever the case may be. Like just he genuinely has just gone back and forth. And even if you then say, well, the back and forth is just part of the cell.
No.
Right? Like that's just making it even more convincing, Taran. It's like, okay, to what end?
Sure.
Look at what the position is. He's been nominated twice in a row at this point. And is a very, like, this doesn't help him. Like, he could have easily been voted out multiple times at this point.
Which is all the more reason why, clearly the reason that he wants to go home is because he feels like he's not doing very well. And when he feels like he's not doing very well, he's like, nah, I don't even care that much. And then when he is doing well, he's like, never mind, I'm doing well. So that's why if you're in the house with him, you make him feel like he's a part of a team and an imperative part of that team, because then he'll be like, I'm doing great. I've got my people. And then maybe you even get lucky and at a Final Four situation, he pulls a Ben in Survivor and is like, you better win. I can't take it anymore. Just vote me out. You know, like I'm telling you, the potential here for this guy, whoever grabs him, Renee, don't let me down here. Do what I would do, Renee, and just guide him like a little lamb throughout the game.
Maggie, I want nothing more than for Renee to pull you. I want Renee to show that she's a powerhouse and do that. I haven't seen the evidence. I haven't seen Renee. Comma button.
What have we seen? Where could we have seen any evidence?
That's a great question.
She told him not to make a dumb move.
And her cute outfit, though. That outfit was really cute. She's going to have to post where it was from when she's out of the house. Little workout set.
Well, Hope does admit to being the rogue vote. That's part of this whole thing. And Ty tells him, look, I don't think taking yourself off the blog, if you were to win, is the move. And Hope is like, what? And more on that in just a second.
If you're ever on the block and anyone says, yo, if you win the veto, don't take yourself off, that person don't like you. That person not your friend.
Yeah. It's just like, because this is the thing, right? Ty and Zach did the thing that Maggie's saying to do, which is that they grabbed onto Hope and they were like, this guy's ours. And in the diary room last week, he said, Zach is the person I trust the most. But you can't just like use and abuse people with no regard for their feelings. And so when he's like, yeah, I don't know, like line me up, I'm willing to take one for the team. And you're immediately like, oh, great. Can you just like go now then?
Like, what? Also, like, how do you think that talking to people like that is going to be received? Like that conversation, I don't want to move too far ahead, but if now we're talking about Ty and Zach, that conversation that Ty had with Koozie was just like, I was like, where are we? Like, who do you think you are that you would say to Koozie, like, well, why wouldn't you just go after somebody who I don't care about? Like, why do you have to go after somebody who I care about? And she's like, what? He's like, well, like the way that he was so clearly just being like, well, just don't go after anybody that I care about. And this is what you should do. And if you don't do it, I'm going to be mad at you.
Yes, but let's talk about all hail the queen. Because Koozie looked at that man straight in his eyes and said, I don't care. You don't even have to vote with us. I already got locked in. So good luck. Have fun.
Yeah.
I don't need you.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like this thing with Hope is like you know how in a movie when like a character, like it's a disaster movie or it's like a horror movie and like the one character is like, no, you guys go. You go, I'll stay back and do the thing and sacrifice myself. And everyone's like, no, no, you can't do it. And they're like, no, you have to go. And sometimes they slam the door in their face so that they can't stop them from sacrificing themselves. That's like Ty in this movie is like, Hope is like, no, you go, Ty. And he looks back and Ty's not even there. Ty already left and shut the door on Hope. And he's like, wait, hold on. Wait, can I take this back? I mean, I don't even get to sacrifice myself. You sacrifice me?
Listen, if you're ever in a horror movie, that is the move. If they offer dip, you ain't staying around to get killed by nobody. Like that's the only case this is okay.
What AJ's saying is don't be in a horror movie with him.
Baby, I'm going to survive. I will defy the odds.
AJ, are you an only child?
Nope. And let me tell you something.
He's got plenty of buffer.
I was gonna say my roommate always says he grew up as an only child, and he always says if anybody broke into our apartment, he would leave me. He would absolutely run. And I was like, that's an only child thing, but it just seems like maybe you and him would
Maggie,
get along, AJ.
I have told my siblings if someone breaks in, y'all are on your own.
Yeah, I've been literally told that by my roommate too. I'm like, you wouldn't even like call on your way out. He's like, I don't know if I don't have time to grab my phone. I don't.
Let me tell you something, Maggie. If you don't got the instinct to get out, that's on you. That's your issue.
Oh my gosh.
I guess the Ty situation is more like in a horror movie, that like something is happening and it's like, well, somebody's gonna have to do it. And in those situations, it's usually like everyone looks at one person. No, don't do it. We know you're gonna try, but instead. You're like, oh, somebody's gonna have to do it, and Ty looks at Hope and puts his hand on his shoulder and like, yeah, it's been great knowing you, man.
Yeah.
Your sacrifice will be appreciated.
You're right, Taran. You're right.
That's perfect.
Yes. And that's not like the end of Ty in this episode either, because he's gonna go and he talk to Santina, and this, if we're continuing the horror movie metaphor, he's then gonna look at Santina and be like, so you're really grateful that I just did that, right? Because I'm doing this for you. And she's like sobbing that like Hope is about to die. And he's like, whoa, why are you giving me attitude right now? Because I just did like so much for you.
How dare you have a feeling about being in danger? How dare you? I mean, I can't imagine what, and you know, again, I'm going to make a sweeping generalization here because we don't have feeds. I don't know. Wow, he must be so fun to hang out with, Ty. In any sort of crisis situation. Woof.
like first off, I'm not for invalidating anybody's feelings, anybody's emotions. We are human beings. We are emotional creatures at our core. Like, she's in danger. Like, she has in her mind frame, I just got put up next to Hope, so I am guaranteed to be on the block eviction night. I am stressing. Like, that is more than, honestly, if it was me, I'll be balling. Like, full stop. So the fact that who's not in danger, who's not being touched, Koozie likes Ty enough to like not even consider him to be an option. And the fact that he's like going up to Santina, who is Koozie's number 2 target, maybe number 1, like, that's gross. That's disgusting. Like, how you talk to people, especially the fact that you're a man talking down to a woman like that. Like, I like when Santina had that confessional, being like, I don't feel heard by my supposed allies. These guys, they just tell me what to do, and I'm just supposed to jump. Like, my heart broke for her in that second.
That was a powerful scene for me. I mean, like that is so representative of, I think, how a lot of women can feel in situations like that. And it's, you know, as we talk about all the time, like, it is absolutely a microcosm of society. And like, just getting talked down to like that. Yeah.
We see it all the time in these shows too. Like, just last season, the way that Monty would talk to Taylor. I think that it was very representative of that. The way that Jackson spoke to Holly in 21, very, very representative of that. Like, I think that the way that men in a game like this invalidate the women that they're working with's feelings and accomplishments because they see them as emotional versus when they are emotional, because anger is not an emotion. Like, they're not being emotional, they're angry, you know? Even though Ty in this clip is, pacing because he's so angry that Zach and is apparently about to do something crazy and blow up the house. But that's not emotional. Santina being upset is emotional. Taylor is in the chat. I love you so much. Thank you for everything you did last season. For all of us women, the way that you held yourself in those situations seriously meant so much to me. Thank you, Taylor. I love you. But the way that feeling upset and hurt is considered emotional, but feeling angry and going off is really, I think, the reason that we see it so much in Big Brother is because that is the way these interactions go in real life.
And before you, because I can already hear and read some of the replies of like, why you got to make it a gender thing though? Well, I would implore you to listen to Zach.
If a male player had done what Santina had done the last few days, we wouldn't even be entertaining this.
Yeah, and that's Ty cackling. So, I mean, I think that speaks for itself.
Yeah, I literally have nothing. I have nothing to say. All right.
Yeah. So Santina is not loving it, and expresses and this is again like this is sort of like the emotional impact of this scene is her acceptance, reluctant acceptance of it. Like they're in power, so what else am I supposed to do but just nod my head and agree, because I have no agency here. And I mean, that to me, yes, she's in this situation, yes, she's in this position, but this to me is part of what makes Big Brother so appealing. It's like a fantasy where maybe right now she can't do anything, but just wait until the end of the episode, right? Because in Big Brother, the tools are right there. Like you actually can do something about it. In real life, it can be a little harder, unfortunately. But here in Big Brother,
I do think though, like in Big Brother though, also, yes, the tools are here, but it also, because it can feel like such an isolating situation, like the women that I just spoke about, who I, with my own two eyes, have seen on the feeds be spoken to that way, were completely isolated from other parts of the house at that point. And they were being spoken to as if that was truth. So the fact that the end of this episode has someone like Santina rising up. The fact that we have Taylor coming through in that final 2 and giving that speech and knowing the truth, the tools are there, but you also, like, watching these women have the courage to grab the tools is what makes all of this so exciting.
No. And truly, it does make it worth it. The fact that we get to see Santina with a smile on her face, the fact that we got to see Taylor overcome the odds and come out victorious at the end of the day. Like, despite the fact, like, those are the moments that we live for. Those are the moments why we continue to come back to watch the show over and over again. Like, we're like, there's something wrong in our society in the show, and then like, oh, at the end of the day, good comes from it. And even when it doesn't happen, like I remember the way Tiffany was talked to, and then she was ultimately booted out. Like, it was like, dang, that shouldn't have happened. But it was also like, okay, now let's reflect. We see the issue. We saw what played out. We need to make a change about that. We need to do better. Like, and I think Big Brother is a great tool of learning. Like, you can just open your eyes. You can see the problem in our societies if you just watch it. And if you choose to ignore it, I feel like you're just choosing to at this point in time, instead of wanting to make an active change to better yourself as a person.
Yeah, which is another reason why I think the live feeds are so valuable, because you get to watch all of that step by step in detail as it happens. And I think it's important that sometimes it doesn't work because this isn't just a fantasy land, and the efforts of the women or whoever it is that are overturning this power structure are genuine, and they made it happen on their own. It's not like Big Brother makes it happen for them. So
Exactly.
I think it's like what these people have their hands on with this show is just so incredible. And what they do with it is so disappointing.
And right, okay, so let's just talk about that because we came into this conversation so upset, so annoyed, like what the heck is even going on? And then what we actually started talking about was not exactly the show. What we started talking about is
Oh,
really
Maggie.
Big Brother
She's been
is.
silenced.
Hello, am I back?
You're good.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Okay. Like what we started to talk about that got us all excited, that got the chat into it, that made us all so excited was that we talked about the mechanics of Big Brother. We talked about Big Brother overarching. We didn't talk about specifically what we're going through right now with the show. We're talking about why we love the show and what about it makes us love it. And that's why Taran, everybody's coming on to listen to you because we can still have these conversations, even if what they're giving us is garbage, like they're giving us hot garbage on a plate. And still 45 minutes into this podcast, I'm like beaming because all that we're talking about is the best parts of this game and the way that mechanically it's possible to rise up above any sort of, adversity that you're facing.
It's they said it themselves.
Can't we just have nice things?
All right. So
Britta.
so that's not even all of the tie arguments because he's also going to argue with Zach over what to do with the veto. That's when Zach says if Santina was a male, we wouldn't even be entertaining this conversation.
And what does he mean by that? Like, can you explain that to me, Taran? Like what he's saying?
I think what he's because believe me, it took me a second, but I think what he's saying is that if that like this behavior is expected from a female, as he might say, but a male they would hold to higher standards because you wouldn't expect a male to behave in this way,
like fighting all their allies and throwing a temper
that's what he
tantrum.
meant by it. Yeah.
Yeah, like throwing a temper tantrum and fighting their allies.
Never. It's not what men do.
Just making sure.
They then go on
To fight,
to argue with each other and conclude that neither one of them can back down on this argument. And so the only logical way out of it is that they both need to throw this veto so that they don't have to, neither one of them has to lose the argument.
But like
perfectly reasonable to me.
But here's the thing though, like the argument is basically like, hey, you should give Santina another shot. I know she was against you at one point in time, but like, listen, she might be best for your game right now. And like the fact that he's like, besides on a moral point, on a game standpoint, if Santina is willing to get back in bed with you, you need to open the door and be like, you know what? I might think I'm all hot stuff right now, but I don't know who's ready to backstab me at any point in time. So let me get all the allies I can have. Which, it's that.
Well, here's Zach. He threw the HOH, and he is now intending to throw the veto. And in the meantime, Koozie is telling us that she's got a Plan Z.
I like Plan Z. Plan Z is fun.
Z for Zacked.
You went for it.
I should have just said Zach.
I don't know.
You should
I
have.
don't know
Okay.
why I went that far.
Hey. Forgive me if we've already gone over this a couple of times on the podcast and I missed it. Does Zach look like the Miz to you?
Okay,
Yes.
people keep saying that.
The Miz is like a wrestler and was also on Road Rules. He
like
looks
if you
so
told
much
me,
like the Miz.
Okay,
to me.
I was
You
about
told
to
me
be
they were
really,
cousins,
I was
I
about to be
believe you.
really ashamed because I thought people were gonna make fun of me for not knowing the Miz. But if it's a wrestler, I feel more okay with it.
Yeah, no, it's not that.
Mhm.
He's not. I mean, he is like in popular culture, and if you watch the challenge ever, you would probably know. But he looks like the Miz to me.
I can see the main
Sorry, we're-
cousins. No, you're not incorrect. But like
I mean, look. Okay. I wasn't convinced, but then I just saw one that's almost uncanny.
yeah. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm with you.
Miz, good shot.
Specifically, I think in his cutoff top when he was trying to collect the water because his muscles were so big, I was like, "You look like the pro wrestler." But the competition was really weird because it's usually it was like a weird mix. It was definitely endurance of like filling up the water in the hole, but it
Mhm.
wasn't like you didn't have to go as far. So I felt like it was maybe it wasn't like slip and slide all the way back. It was sort of like you were in like a little pod. So I was like, did they do that to try to make it more equal so that, if you weren't as, you didn't have as good of stamina, that you would still be able to have a good shot at this? I was just sort of confused about why they did it that way.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was more equitable in terms of win ability than a slip and slide would be. And I think we did see Santina doing decently. I think it's still something that like athletic people are going to perform better at, just
Sure.
because of how long it takes and how much movement is involved. And also like Hope was just sinking those balls. I mean, he's a basketball player. He was crushing that part of it.
Anika got 3 in a row though.
You know?
But
I'm telling Anika, she picks things up quickly.
I didn't love the challenge, but compared to what else Big Brother Canada have given me this season,
Yeah.
I'm like, this is better.
Yeah.
Personally.
I would say this is like probably the second best one they've done, which again, the bar is very low. But it was almost watchable.
Yeah, I famously do not watch the challenges. So I was like, okay.
Well, yes, Zach did confirm to us that he was throwing this competition. So if Zach ends up leaving this week after throwing both competitions, that's just
That brings me so much joy.
I'd just be waiting for this.
Oh God. Just end the season already.
Not since 6 months ago.
It was so good.
Such nonsense. All right. So Hope wins the veto, and he's so pleased.
Yes.
That he now wants to stay in the game. And yes. So Hope has the veto, and Koozie says right away, all right, I'm just gonna put Zach up. Plan Z in action. Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
She's gonna talk to Daniel about it. And Daniel is not happy. Now I gotta say, I was giving Daniel some credit. I was saying, Koozie's saying that Daniel's like attached to Zach, but this guy's a game player. I'm sure he just sees that Zach is an asset to him in the game. However, at least what they're portraying to us in this edit, it does seem like, based on what he's saying, that he is actually feeling a bit attached, in the sense that like he's like, Zach was there for me at that time, and I don't want him to leave. He makes me laugh.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Like I don't like that they did this. I'm but like I think besides him low key being attached, uh when you look at Daniel's in position, and I think Daniel is a smart player and he has been doing well this season. I do see him with Anika and Koozie.
Mhm.
And I do see Koozie and Nika being like, if we have to drop Daniel at some point, we do got the girly pops over here. Like we got other options that Daniel does not have. So if I was Daniel, I would be like, yo, you're cutting off one of my side pieces. What is happening? Daniel, you don't have the power, so you can't like be upset.
Also,
Well,
like,
you can be upset, but like
be quiet. Don't tell everybody. Like, act like it's fine. Like,
Here's the thing. Ultimately, genuinely, from my perspective, I haven't seen anything from these episodes to change my mind about this. I don't actually think Zach is the best target for Koozie, for Koozie's game. Certainly for Daniel's game. I do think that Ty is a better target. Although, given everything that's happening with Hope and potentially happening with this scandal, that might change. But Zach is a more like untouchable person in the house in terms of being an ally with Zach. Like the women in the house will never go back to Zach. There's a chance, Claudia is still technically in a showmance with the guy that they go and with Ty at some point or another, right? So taking out Ty, I think, is more the move here. And in my opinion, and again, the reason I still gave Koozie a high rating in Stockwatch is because I'm like, she knows her relationship with Ty better than I do. At this point, I haven't seen enough. Maybe there is a chance that she can get Ty back. It doesn't seem like it, but maybe there's a chance. But here's the thing: when I saw this conversation between Daniel and Koozie with Anika there, his first point I agreed with. Taking out Zach when he's a big target in front of us is not a good move. Everyone else will do that move. I was like, good point. But like every other point he made, I was like, not as good of a point. Because she was like, well, we take out targets. She was like, and he was like, well, they're all targets. It's like, okay, well, you just negated your first point by saying that. And then he said, this is a great move for you two, but it's bad for me. And I was like, first of all, I don't agree with that. I don't think it's a great move for them. But you telling them that is only going to make them think it's a great move for them. Second, that's okay. Now it's a great move for them.
yeah.
It is counterproductive to say that.
I feel like wrong even arguing these little points with you, Taran, because like we have no context.
Yeah.
So I like actually don't know. But I do think that there is something to say about the fact that like if Koozie can stand to be around Ty and cannot stand to be around Zach and sees them as the same threat level, like sometimes you just gotta go with like, what if Ty wins, can I suck it up and go talk to him? If Zach wins, can I suck it up and go talk to him? And if the answer is a hard hell no about one of those people, then I do think sometimes you just got to be like, they got to go. Because if it's somebody who like their existence around you drives you crazy and they're really bad for your game, like sometimes you do just have to like be like, you know what? I'm going to be a better person to be around if this person is out of here. And I think that that's for a lot of people what happened with Jack and Jackson in Big Brother 21. Like, who is more threatening versus who sucks less to me? Like, and I think that sometimes that is like a personal decision that you kind of just have to make. And if she's in charge, she can do what she wants. And like I said, Taran, because I don't disagree with you that Ty has all of these other connections, but because we don't have this full breadth of it, like I do see from her point of view sometimes just being like, this guy sucks and I need him out of here,
Like,
and I will. Sorry, just very quickly. I will say this too. Something that I wasn't taking into account when I talked about it on the Stockwatch, at least, is the good TV of it. Like there is something to be said about, and I think it would have been good TV if it was Ty too. But like Zach is like the guy. And so like getting Zach, I think hits the right notes and like again, if this was a season with live feeds and it wasn't riddled with scandal, then I think that this becomes like an iconic moment in the history of the show.
Yes.
As it is, I think it's still a good moment. Good stuff from Koozie here, and I think that she is providing top tier content. I'm so sad for her that like everything
Me
surrounding
too.
it is so messy. Hopefully we can look back at this and remember it fondly in some way. But I think I think the good TV of it is something to be considered as well.
Like, I do like making bold claims with little information. I I feel like I'm not upset with the move. I'm not. I think there could have been a better move. Like I do think, based on the connections, everything you had already explained, Taran, why I think Ty is a better shot for Koozie to take. But like just going into her position, going into this HOH, like seeing like a Vanessa go home would not have been a bad decision. Seeing like a Dan go home, like those are like for the position she was in, where she was basically in the middle between the girly pops and the Zach and Ty side. Like I think what you do in that spot is you don't make the big move, you make the safe move that might upset your allies, but they're your allies and they're like, you know what, we can live with this.
Yep.
With this, you're actively upsetting Ty. Zach thought you were one of his people, and like sure you're good with the girly pops, but also Koozie, you're now a target because you've made a move right so far, the move of the season, which is getting out Zach. And I'm not saying you're not capable of saving yourself or bouncing back, but like there's gonna be more eyes looking at you a lot sooner than what you probably would have wanted at this point in time. However, I am a big fan of if this person gets on your gosh darn nerves, like that's fine. Like put your mental peace first. Like, and plus Zach is already on the outs of many people in the house. Like, is that going home? Like, a lot of people, they ain't crying over that. And they're like, you know what? This was a good job, Koozie. You did that. Where if she would have did it with Ty, that's more explaining that she got to do. More talking through with more people that she has to go through.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like the way that the first couple of weeks in this house has gone is, I mean, it's so good if you're a player that is like a lie low kind of player. This is the perfect season for you because two people left who were in kind of that. Like Vanessa, yes, she was making waves, stirring the pot, but she was isolated. She couldn't really like do much socially, right? And Amal, we don't know, how she would have played the game, but like it is theoretically another person who could have fit into the mold of like not being a big power player in the game. So two of those people have been eliminated through means not in the game. And then the rest of the house has been targeting big targets. They set the precedent. That's what Koozie tells Ty. You two set the precedent that you go after big targets. You make big shots. So I'm just following through with that. And like that's what's happening. And like if you get HOH,
Karen,
who are you going to be to break that pattern and be like, I'm going to be the first HOH to stop taking big shots and not and waste my opportunity. Like, and this is something I talked about in the when they targeted Rob. I was like, they do not realize the precedent they are setting. And she literally says it right to his face.
And that, oh my gosh, there's so much here because I was thinking that too when I was watching. I was like, oh my gosh, this is the perfect season for, like Dan always says, first 35 days, go to sleep. If you are that type of player, oh my gosh, this season is ripe for it. You have these people who are pretty bad and loud, like running the show here, and everybody sees it. People like Claudia, like people like
Renee.
I can't even remember her name. No, the other one.
Shania?
No, Shania. Like people like that who are nowhere to really be found on these episodes. Like they are going to, if they know what they're doing, which we don't know because we don't have feeds, but like they are going to have their moment. And that's why like in situations where you are a big target. Like that's why the Tony Vlachos, that's why the Brigade did this. That's why the Pretty Boys did this. They made sure that they did not go after those big targets. They kept them in the game so that they would be shielded. It's the reason Brenchel made it to Final 7 in Big Brother 12. You know, like that is the way that you have to play if you're going to be a power player. And if you're not, like, you're not, and you got to figure out a different way to play. But and usually what happens is that you in seasons now is that you get these big giant 8-person 9-person alliances with all of the big strong people in them, all the cool kids, and you're like, cool, so we'll just go after the other people. But both Zach and Ty, we're seemingly not able to do that. Like I said, bad and loud. So like now they're in this position where they went after their own and they're left completely exposed.
Yeah, I mean that is truly, you know, when we talk about the Brigade, and Matt Hoffman specifically was the pioneer of this strategy, which was, I'm keeping Brenchel. Like I want them in the game because they are a great distraction. And you set the precedent that we are at summer camp and we are not making waves. It's very difficult to be the first person to make a big wave in the game because it's not a good position to be. Being the first person to do that, even if you then set a precedent for future players in the house, even if you're the person who like sets things in motion that benefits other people, it's usually not going to benefit you. You're the one that's going to kind of take a hit for it. And it's also hard to be the second person to make a big play, to continue the trend.
That's the one. I actually think that's the harder one because you usually see what happened to the first person and you're like, no way am I doing that.
Yep. And so, but once you get 2, now that is the norm. And you don't want to make waves by breaking the norm and targeting not big threats. So, you know, it's just everything we've been talking about with these people who like took control of the game and then just made all of the wrong decisions. And look where it got them.
Look
loud and wrong.
Look at Daniel like last season. Like we was like, you're the first HOH. You have the power. You set the tone of what this game is going to be. And if you have that power, you need to set it up so it's in your favor, not what you want to do to be the big man on campus or whatever. Like what you got to do is set yourself up so that way you're like deep in the game. Whether or not you're with people that you like or not, that's irrelevant in my humble opinion. What you need to do is be with people that you can possibly beat and got your back. And Zach, Ty, they said, we want to make a big move now. And sorry, John Michael, but you're going down. Sorry, Rob, you're going down. And guess what? Zach, you're going down.
Yeah. So this is the part of the podcast where we stop giving advice to people who want to make seasons boring. And
yeah, don't do that if you're in there.
So Ty is not happy.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
I just want to say one last thing. All of what we're saying is only advice for people who know themselves. Because if you are the type of player who, like we said, is a big threat, is whatever, then you have to play like that. But then you have players like Kevin last season who thrived in creating as much like the most important thing is because like you brought up AJ Daniel did not know himself going in and did not know what to do with that first HOH because he had a completely skewed version of the type of player and the type of person that he was. The most important, this is the advice that I will give to anybody. The way to make it the least boring season is to know yourself so well that you know the exact strategy that you need to do to succeed. And for every single person, it is going to be different. Sorry.
Yeah.
Disclaimer.
There you go. All right. So Ty's not happy about the situation about Zach potentially going on the block. So he's going to go and tell Zach about it. And let's hope that thing we talked about. I think we're going to have to do this. You're going to have to use the veto on Santina. And Hope, who I guess has been listening to Jonathan, says,
I got that dog in me.
He's got that dog in him, and he is not a kitten, and he is not going to listen to Ty and Zach anymore.
That phrase also is usually used to talk about something about a way to treat women that you are seeing. And it's not nice. So like usually it's in reference to like you got that dog in you, like you are like acting like a dog with a bunch of different women.
But dogs are nice.
No, not
What do you
in
mean,
the
What do you
not in the phrasing that I have heard it, at least.
Okay, in the
world.
phrasing, yes, but to all of our cocker spaniels and bulldogs and Dalmatians, golden retrievers, y'all are amazing.
Yeah.
Chihuahuas, y'all do
I'm
that
just
thing.
saying in the vernacular that like, that's I think the phrase is that's what it means.
Yeah, I think I've heard it before. But only this is how I hear phrases. I hear people making fun of the phrase once it's already a thing, and I learn from it by the making fun of it.
Fair enough.
Okay, somebody in the comments says that it means that he has that fight in him. Maybe I just have hung around some people who are way immature.
Maybe it's time to start looking at your surroundings.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe he'll convince himself he got the fight to stay in this game. He got it in him.
He's got that dog in him. He's not a kitten.
We're dogs.
Yeah.
We're not kittens.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to the kittens holding it down out there.
Kittens, arguably better. That's all I'm gonna say.
I am going to abstain from the conversation, but
I'm
This
gonna say
might be
no,
the
but
most
we gotta move on.
controversial topic of the entire podcast.
I was about to say, this is what will get me hate. This is what will get me hate. I'll get Instagram DMs about my opinion on dogs versus cats.
So it's Hope does not give a definitive answer, and Ty and Zach don't understand what it means to not get their way. So they are going to discuss. Ty says, well, I have something that will get him disqualified. Zach says, the letter? And that's all we get from it. Now, I have seen on Twitter, somebody posted a video, and I saw this from Big Brother Extra. I don't know if anybody else has posted it, but a video of earlier in the episode when Hope originally talked to Ty about potentially using the veto on Santina. Hope sort of shakes Zach's hand, or sorry, Ty's hand, in that way that spies do when they pass something off, and kind of like clearly sort of seems to be putting something into Ty's hand, and Ty says, "What is this?" And Hope says, "Nothing, broski." And Ty is like looking down at his hand, and it seems as though he potentially handed Ty some sort of maybe letter. Now, if this is the case, this would have happened post Rob. So Rob may be thinking this is something else, and maybe this is something scandalous. Who knows?
Back to what I have to say at the beginning. I mean, how did we get here where people are tattling on each other in a show that has 24/7 surveillance? How can you tattle on someone when people are supposed to be watching you?
You know what? Great question, Maggie. We'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean, this is potentially the thing, right? If he managed to get some sort of writing utensil, which wouldn't be that hard, there's plenty of things you could use as a writing utensil, and writes, puts his hand over a thing, writes a note down, passes it to Ty. Maybe Ty looks at it in a way that the cameras can't see it. The only question at that point is, what could he have possibly written that Ty would feel is disqualifying? And that they would say,
who will be left standing after a scandal rocks the house? Find out the shocking truth.
And I think Arissa on Twitter has posted a video that I was not able to watch because I'm doing a podcast and I can't listen to what she's saying while also you guys. But I think she said something along the lines of like, this is like serious business that's about to happen. Which, honestly, like it's hard to believe because she's been saying like it's the most dramatic episode every single Thursday. But
Let Arissa do her job.
We
who
love
knows?
Marissa. Mhm.
Some people have pointed out the wording of this.
Who will be left standing?
Who will be left standing after a scandal rocks the house, which to some people seems to imply like they're not talking about an eviction, are they? Like left standing. But you know, if I'm gonna take a guess, I think there will be an eviction, and that it will probably be Zach. And that nobody's going to get disqualified, and that they're really just trying to hype this up. And maybe it's worse than we think it is, but I still think they're probably just trying to hype this up. And I don't think we're probably going to know the exact truth of what's actually happening.
Like I low-key think worst case scenario is like there's a house punishment. That like whatever it has to be, whatever the note is or whatever's been written down. I don't know what it is. I think we're still going to go through the eviction, and it's going to be like 2 weeks, 3 weeks from now, we're going to be like, oh yeah, there was a scandal, wasn't there?
Maybe. Well, I can tell you there are no spoilers. No spoiler section for this podcast because we don't know anything. So this is where we're at this point.
All right.
I'm expecting that there will be no daily drop tomorrow, and that we will have to wait until at least Friday, because that's why would we expect to get anything? But you can perhaps tune in tomorrow. We might still have something for you before the episode, if you are interested in more discussion about the season. So stay tuned. Make sure you're subscribed here on Rob as a Podcast. I'm also, of course, going to be live on Twitch, watching episodes and stuff. Any final thoughts before we start to wrap up here? Any final thoughts on the episode, on the situation, on the shocking truth of the house?
My thoughts are, and I really have come to have these thoughts during this podcast, because I kind of came in here like, what the heck am I even going to talk about? This is sad. My thoughts are, I love Big Brother so much. I really do. When it's good, it's so good. When it's bad, it's so bad. But when it's nothing, it's sad. And I just really wish that they could give us back our show, because it really does feel like ours, and it's sad, but I still love it so much, and I had such a great time talking with you guys.
Yes,
I agree 100%. Like throughout our hardships, there's still gold to be mined from this season, and I am happy to listen along as it gets mined out on this podcast.
Yeah, I think my final thoughts can be summed up as
Can't we just have nice things?
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you all again for hanging out. Hopefully you enjoyed this. What a roller coaster of a podcast, even at this point.
It really was. It really was.
We really hit every like emotion along the way, I think.
Yeah.
Anger, sadness, inspiration, laughter.
Wow. Okay. Fair enough.
We're producing fine art here on Rob as a Podcast. Well, as I said, tune in tomorrow. We will be live after the episode to recap what goes down tomorrow night after we learn the shocking edit of whatever the truth is. And then, we'll continue the coverage. Again, find me over on Twitch, twitch.tv/Taran Armstrong. Check out the YouTube channel. If you enjoyed AJ and Maggie, they are occasionally making appearances in those Among Us videos I'm dropping over there. And again, stay tuned to tomorrow. We'll before the episode, we might have something fun for you. So stay tuned for that. And Survivor as well. I've got a Survivor stock watch coming up this weekend. So check all of that out. AJ, what do you got going on?
Nothing much. You can follow me on Twitter at Norris. That's where I'll retweet any podcast that I'm currently doing. My podcast with the great Jay Maggie, Two Can't Keep a Secret. We're currently on hiatus, but please send love to my amazing podcast hosts at jmaggie_ on Twitter. They deserve nothing but kindness and the world right now.
All right, Maggie?
Yeah, I'm not on Twitter, so don't send me your thoughts on cats versus dogs there. But I am on Instagram and TikTok at mlmorgan_. Give me a follow there. And thank you guys for having me. Thank you for everybody in the chat who's had so much fun with us tonight. I miss Big Brother. I didn't realize how much I had missed it until I started talking about it. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Okay then. Well, Taylor in the chat is saying something maybe involving Taylor tomorrow. Tune in 1:30 p.m. Pacific time. If you want to hear Taylor and what her thoughts are on the live feeds and lack of.
Taylor, well, I know where I'll be tomorrow. What the heck? You're not even sharing with us, Taran.
Look, that's how it works, right? You're not supposed to tell people things. And then
Well,
magic.
I would have
right?
liked to know.
Oh, you could have put in the private chat or something.
Yeah. we have a little chat.
Yes, 4:30 Eastern. We'll be live. It's a replacement, live feed update basically. It's so of course nothing to update, but plenty to talk about. So tune in tomorrow. All right, thank you again all so much for joining us here tonight, and I will see all of you next time.